Hello, all you hardcores. You know who I've got here, don't you? It's Max the breadcrumb from Scarborough. How are you doing, Max?
Yes, I'm very good. How are you, mate?
Max, what are you sending me? Text messages and photos of VADA testing your Wii for. Why are they at your gym?
Not at my gym, they're at my work.
You came to your work for what? What? Why, Max? Are you going for a heavyweight title? What's going down?
It's just I signed up to a thing, so I'm
You
not
signed
cool
up.
because it's.
Matt, what are you going with it? Your head's full of Jolly Robins, mate. Sign up for what? Testing. Oh, you're fighting. It's big phrase.
It's just one of them, isn't it? It's just you
One
want to
of
be
what,
out.
Max? It's one of what? I don't know what is it? Max, what are you doing to me? Stop with this boxing nonsense, Max. Stop it, Max. Come on, game's up now, innit? Come on, son.
Well, if you continue with the YouTube nonsense, I'll continue with the boxing nonsense.
Oh, Max. Anyway, right, Max. Is it every boxer, trainer, manager, promoter? Do they just all not trust each other, Max? unless you're family. They just does everybody just try and shaft everybody, Max? What's going on?
Do you know what? I mean, if this is going back to the Eubank thing, you know, I mean, if you're Chris Eubank, do you trust Roy Jones Jr.?
I won't trust Roy Jones as far as I could throw him. He's a former doper for starters, convicted doper.
Do,
So,
do you know what it is? I mean, and I've heard a lot of comments of Terry Julian and people saying he's caught between sort of styles and that.
but between stars, why is he trying to be Roy Jones? Roy Jones, we're doing that as a 10-year-old, that stance. He were doing that age 10. We're doing it 40 odd year. They can't just say to you, "Well, we're going to teach you how to be Roy Jones." His
Can't
reflexes
do it.
are already going. Eubank.
I think with Eubank, right, this is the thing. You know, the thing is with Eubank, he's awkward, right? He doesn't want to learn. He thinks he's a lot of arrogance about him, so he can't be taught, can he?
Mm.
So you're only working what you've already got with. So so if that's the case, he needs he needs an inside trainer who's willing to give him a little bit of time for teaching him to fight on the inside. If Liam Williams was to do that again, but I think it was a question of he got laxed, and this is my personal opinion. He had a good, successful third round when he was not taking Liam Smith apart, but asking questions, hard questions. And I think he thought in that fourth round, well, it's going to be maybe an easy night for me. So he got laxed, he got caught. Simple as that. That's what I think has happened.
It were an
When you've
elbow.
been you know what?
It were an elbow that done him, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, there's things like that you can say. I mean, look, he got caught by a
Listen, you
multitude of
protect
punches.
yourself at all times.
Yeah,
Smith's done him. Well done to Beefy Smith. Well
yeah,
done.
yeah.
But I never seen Paul Smith move so fast in ring cheering after. I mean, Joe Gallagher couldn't get him to do that when he were a pro.
You
You
know,
know, you see him, Jim Royal, jumping up and down.
Jim Royal.
Big
Jim Royal. But this is the thing. This is the thing, Rush. He got caught, and I generally believe, and I will side Chris on this, Chris Eubank on this. I generally think it was a lottery punch. I don't think you'll able to do that again, Liam Smith.
Yeah.
Providing it's at 160, I don't think it was helpful for Chris Eubank to build up to the Conor Benn thing that he had to cut down weight. There's a lot of things we can say which didn't help Chris Eubank, but he has got a talent. He is still talented now. He's entitled to a couple of losses. Now, all this talk of him, he should retire. Billy Joe Saunders coming out of the woodwork. I mean, look, Billy, just get back in your box because really we're lucky to win against Chris Eubank. So we'll leave that one there, Billy. And there's other bit, the Conor Benn piping up. Oh, why dust you down in 2 rounds? Well, yeah, I bet you would with all the juice inside you, Mr. Connor. Where's your document?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people piping up. It's just because how Chris Eubank is. But he's, he took it well. He took the loss well. Every dog has his day. But I think this would wake up something in him, where he thinks, right, I'm in it now. This is make or break for the second one. Because I think he got laxed, personally. And it was just a lottery ticket for Liam Smith. But not taking anything away from Liam Smith. He did well. So.
Yeah, okay then, Max. Obviously, Lawrence Sokola's left Johnny Bravo, and he's looking for a new trainer. Who do you think could be a good fit for Lawrence?
Again, he's an awkward fighter, isn't he? His style doesn't excite me, So, I mean, you know what? I think Peter Fury would suit him.
Yeah, Max, crawl out Peter's arse, will you, mate?
No, I think Peter Fury's look. And then another thing, while I'm on it, I disagreed what Terry said about trainers. You had a discussion with trainers and trainers over here compared to everyone going over to America all the time. You're talking about, Joshua's looking at America, and and Terry had an analogy of like, well, you had to understudy someone. Well, Julian's his exception to that argument, isn't he? Because he never really he understudied Keith Tate a bit, but he didn't need to go to America. Joe G didn't need to go. Look at Joe G's repertoire of fighters. He's most successful gym ever, isn't he? Now must be.
Oh, successful.
Even more so than Brendan Ingle. So
yeah, well, Ingle lads, they've all been. They're not all Dominics and they're not all Brendans, are they? They're not all Dominics and they're not all Brendans, are they? Shared amount. Joe's done it on his own, hasn't
he? Yeah, exactly. So Joe's done his own, and he's manager and trainer. He's got a good thing now. He's got a good academy, filtering all these youngsters through when they eventually turn pro. He's onto a good thing there, and Joe's got his head screwed on. So, so then you got your other trainers, Adam Booth. So, I disagree what Terry says about understudying, but because he contradicted himself when when Ben Davison's gone over to America, or at least he travels. Well, hold on, Terry. Yeah, he travels, but what's he brought back? Every fighter that lands on his lap has left him. So, I don't know where he was going with that one. As bright and clever Terry is, it's a bit of a contradiction there.
How do you mean?
Well, because when you're saying that every so you use Peter Fury as an example. Well, who's Peter Fury understudied? What's he done exactly? Well, I'm not being funny. He developed Tyson into a style where he can't get hit or as much hit, and that was due to the Steve Cunningham knockdown. He developed himself in a style, and I believe it was the only thing that was missing from his game was taking opponents out. A lot, which he sort of developed a little bit under Sugar Hill. I think he just had to learn to trade a little bit more. But Peter Fury is self-taught, so being self-taught doesn't necessarily make you crap. Does that make sense?
Well, Peter Fury's took Savannah to world title, and Lewis had a title shot, and Tyson won all them belts with Peter, isn't it? So I'd like to think he knows what he's on with, would you?
Yeah, exactly. So, and to be fair, I mean, I'm sure Peter, if he really wanted to, right, he could have more fighters in his stable. But he has selective few. He selects who he wants. So you can't really blame him. So, yeah, I sort of disagree with this American thing a little bit.
Okay, Eubank, is it a mess, all these people around him? Junior, he's got all there's old man, fair enough, but it looks like he's wanted best for him. There's all these hangers on, all these Z-listers. And do you think he needs to just scrap the lot and go back to old man and Ronnie Davis?
I think so. I don't know with Senior at the minute. I don't know where his head's at. He seems to lose a little bit of the plot.
Yeah, I've seen him. Somebody sent me a video of him. He walked into some duo or something. He were off his fucking kite.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You know, I think. I think with him, you know, he needs to if he's in the right frame of mind, yeah, by all means. But he needs just a straight up trainer and an old head. I can see why he got Roy Jones Jr. I can see why, because there's a little bit of stardom about him, Roy Jones, and it sort of is an older version of Chris, sort of thing, if that makes sense, of how they act. And
Roy Jones done as a trainer. What is his
nothing,
body of work?
nothing. It's yet to be proved, isn't he? Really, let's be honest.
All right then. Well, were Eubank Jr. weight drained? Is he a 168 or a 160?
You're gonna look. He's gonna have to look to move up. You know, if it's. I mean, he says it's not. It's not a problem, but you know, it was clearly was for the Conor Benn thing. So I think 168 maybe. You know,
He's been knocked out by a light middleweight, basically, hasn't
yeah, you know, and there's only so much, and you know for yourself, Russ. You know when you lose weight, you know you don't have. I mean, a certain amount of actually fat or a certain amount of the body fat on you actually recovers and it recovers. I say,
Listen, Max, listen, mate. I've had a fucking bump on chin. I went down, mate, and fucking 10.5 stone wet through. Yeah, mate. It don't fucking it don't help if you weight drain. No, does it? Heck, I can assure.
no, it doesn't. His strength zapped. He's zapped, and that's what I think you're finding with him in a minute. He's zapped. You know, so when you've done that much of weight training and keep doing the weight training, and you know it doesn't help you. You know, can you imagine if Conor Benn went in against him, right, and ironed him out worse, and it could have been potentially worse than what Liam Smith did.
Yeah.
You're looking at an attempted murder charge, really.
Eddie Hearn and Caller and Bode and all them and Benz, they're all knee deep in it, aren't they? I don't see anybody bringing charges of disrepute or anything. It's all very, very hush hush, isn't it?
Well,
If it were
I'm not being
anybody
funny.
else, they'd be screaming for charges, wouldn't they? Could you imagine if it were Bricktop? They'd be all over the board, wouldn't he, asking for Bricktop to have his license revoked?
Do you know what gets me as well, Russ? Right. So before that fight between Eubank and Benn and all the presser and leading up to it, who knew about the VADA testing? Who actually truly knew about the VADA testing?
Yeah, what was that?
So yeah.
Well, we don't know. Yeah. It's an whodunit, isn't it? It's probably they all knew about it, didn't they? Ian and all them lot would have been in on it, wouldn't they? Eddie Hill.
Yeah, but the thing is that Callan knew about it, right? The boxing board of control. If that story didn't break in the Daily Mail, we would have had that fight. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Not good, is it? And to be honest, it's no good, you know. And Calla, he's supposed to be your promoter and acting for you, and he was willing to throw his fighter in that situation. So what does that say about?
It's not performance enhancing. It's only a smarty, you know, or whatever he was saying. It's not performance enhancing. Well, what is it then, Calla?
So I mean,
got in his system. It's what Bird's taking it to McBabbies or something.
This is what I mean. It is so, you know, and it's what Julian said on his thing, like on his channel a few days ago, that they're looking at eggs, and it is the egg scenario. You know, don't give me that. You're better off just holding your hands up. Yeah. He screwed himself really, Conor, because the longer the guilty man, that's that old saying, isn't it? The guilty man doesn't run from the scene. He's gone sprinting from the scene. So,
Max. Jake Paul against Tommy TNT Fury. Does it happen, Jake? Does it happen, Maxie? Do we care?
Not really. I don't care. I think Jake Paul irons him out. He's ducked the first two fights. I'm not interested what Tommy has the excuses for. The first one, I smell a rat when they did the presser when John tried to hit the big screen and what he said. So that was doing a presser over Zoom didn't go right. So that was new. They were straight away not doing that. And Homeland Security does not approach you when you enter the airport. It's only when you're on the other side. So, you know, but I don't get why people believe it. People generally believe it. That happened.
All right. Conor Ben delaying tactics with his 270-page dossier. Why don't they just go for B sample, Max, and do the job properly? Instead of all these thousands on dossiers and scientists and all this nonsense. What's your take on it, Max?
This is what. Look, when you're signing up to a drug agency, you are getting that agency to find the findings and results of what you've performed. That's all they're doing. They're not interested about what you're boxing next, who you're boxing next. They're just doing what they've been told, right? Because Conor Ben doesn't like the findings, right? Or he's got the cycle wrong or whatever. They just start setting lawyers on because they don't like the results. Yeah. So what are we saying? You might as well take drugs. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte, the Tete, the whole lot. They need to be reprimanded. There needs to be something being done because the boxing board of control aren't fit for purpose, and they're on. Let's be honest, they're in shit street with Ian John Lewis and the other guy at the minute. So the reason why they haven't done anything about Conor Ben, they need someone to bail them out, aka Eddie Hills, which I think is going to happen behind the scenes, and Conor will be back boxing again. That's what will happen because Bricktop did it, didn't he? He helped him out years ago.
All right, so, all right. Here's a curveball for you. Eddie Hills and the Can Man. Anybody who wants to get it, as long as they've got COVID and they're over 40. Eddie Hills and the Can Man, are they divorced? Dillian Whyte speaking out on channels.
He can't be divorced. It could be the sake of, in my view, you know, that
his hand.
Yeah, he's trying to. It's a case of he's a free agent, isn't he, Dillian Whyte? He only goes on to Zone on an agreed deal. It's sort of like I guess it's sort of like Canelo, isn't it? Canelo's not actually the Zone fighter, is he?
No.
So it's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
All right then. All right. Fury against Usyk. Does it happen, or is it going to be Fury against that Ngannou? Because Dillian Whyte's calling him out as well. They're all looking to get a payday, aren't they? Legacy. Ready.
I don't know. I just want the Fury and Usyk to happen. I generally think Fury, he knows he's in for a rough ride against Usyk. He knows it's a life and death fight with him. I think people keep saying about the size. I'm not convinced Fury's got the legs like he did in the first Wilder fight anymore to move away from Usyk. And there's a lot of Fury. And people need to get the size thing out of the way because Usyk can hit you from angles that you didn't even know was possible.
Where's that from? Stick. Stig, we know you're listening. Fury power. Remember Stig with his Fury Power WhatsApp group?
Yeah. I remember that.
Love to the Stig. Hey, he's doing well, Stig, you know. He sent me a picture of him in his tailor suit. Looking very smart. Very smart. Very smart there, young man. Very smart. That's my Brian Clough impression. You like that?
He's probably dressing for court, Stig.
Joe Joyce, is he the ugly sister at the ball? Nobody's mentioning him.
Well, Fury sort of lightly mentioned him after the Derek Chisora fight, but he just seen what happened to Joe Parker, didn't he? And he just grinded down. I think the best version we've seen of Joseph Parker, you know, I think he really had a go at Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
And if he performed that same magnitude that he did against Joe Joyce that he should have done against Jack Massey, he would have ironed Jack Massey out. But I think that fight against Joe Joyce has put a hell of a lot of miles out on his clock all of a sudden, you know.
What sort of sparring is done with Tyson? I mean, let's have it right. Tyson can tell him every day he's his mate, but while everybody's getting sparring off him and practicing his art, you know what I mean? And
look at Dave Allen on that scenario.
Dave Allen, all sparring's done Dave, and he's had hard fights, tough kid, but all sparring's done him in, trying to get a few quid. He's done him in.
That's what I mean. So you know, when you've got that, I'd like to see Dave Allen against Joe Parker. You know,
I'd like to see Dave Allen against Fraser Clark, me.
nah, Fraser Clark would beat him.
Ron reckons it's a good fight if Dave's on his game.
Nah, I think Fraser Clark. You got to think this guy, Fraser Clark, is a two-time gold medalist, or whatever he is now.
Bronze medalist, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's training up EIS all the time, 2 times a day. He's got the best sparring at his hands. You could have someone like Dave. Let's say Dave is the same level as Fraser Clark. Let's say he's skill level for argument's sake. Dave won't be having all this conditioners and people at his hands. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have all the best at his hands like Fraser Clark would. So he's on to a loser already. I don't think it's worth it for him. He's better off fighting someone like Joe Parker, who's got a bit out of him, or Derek Chisora. They're the 2 fights should be out there for him. You know, Fraser Clark, I would avoid personally. I think he beats Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark. I rate him that highly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's that good.
What do you think about Big Meech against Jermaine Franklin?
I feel sorry for that Jermaine Franklin because he won that fight against Dillian Whyte by 3 rounds. I thought I had him 3 rounds up, and because he was home fighter Dillian Whyte. Oh yeah, Dillian Whyte didn't impress me at all during that fight. No. I thought Jermaine Franklin came to have a go, and he did, and I felt sorry for him really because I felt embarrassed in theory because I knew he won that, and I thought, oh, Jermaine Franklin got that. And they raised his hand. And I thought, what are the judges looking at here?
Yeah.
You know, so Jermaine Franklin, to be fair, he deserves to fight Joshua. He deserves that fight in theory. He deserves a decent payday.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you might be right there, Maxie. You might be right, mate. Anthony Yard against Beterbiev. What do you reckon?
Look, let's have it right. He's throwing the fight against Kololev. If you look on recollection of that, you're going to have to say Beterbiev, and Beterbiev will stop him maybe round 6.
If he wins hard, we're going to have to eat pie, aren't we?
Well, Yard, I think he's... Look, I mean, what's his last fight? Was it Lyndon Arthur or who was it after that? Look, he's doing a massive...
I'll eat pie, but I won't like it, but we'd have to tip his hats to Tunde if they pulled it off, wouldn't we? Could you imagine Tunde? He'd be fucking unbearable, wouldn't he? Sorry for swearing. Tunde would be unbearable, wouldn't he?
But Tunde, you know, look, I know the issues that we've had, and you don't like him in particular for obvious reasons and right reasons. He ain't a bad trainer. You know, he's got Yard to a level, but is it Beterbiev's level? I don't think so. I think he's made a different gravy. You've seen what Lyndon Arthur did in the first fight, and Lyndon Arthur. Would you say he's what would you say Lyndon Arthur is? World level? No.
He's
British level,
Euro level.
I'd say you say domestic stroke European at best.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a step up, massive step up. But if he does it, hats off to him. I hope he does it, yeah, because he's British, isn't he? You want to see you root for the Brit, don't you? But I don't think it'll happen.
You know when Bob Ashley sparred him, they had pink pillar gloves on, and you were lifting him off the floor with body shots, and he was 15 stone, Bob Ashley, and he was nearly ready for fighting Beterbiev. This is a few years ago.
Yeah.
He was only about 6-0 then. And I think he won world title in his 7th fight or really early. And he smashed Ashley to pieces. It's a true story, that. We were lifting him off floor, mate. We uppercut.
Really?
We were lifting him off floor, mate. And his head, they reckon his head's huge. It's like a lion. He looks like a lion when he's up close, you know, looking at you. I reckon he's a proper scary dude in there, mate, in the ring. They reckon he's really scary. He's got a great poker face. He doesn't show any emotions or anything. It's like a machine, honestly. I've never seen no like it. I've followed him years, mate. I've never seen a fighter like him. He doesn't show anything, emotion or out. When he's in there, if he's a freak, I think he's a freak, mate. I do honestly do.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
He's a freak, mate. Honestly, he's a freakish guy. If Anthony Hart pulls this off, it's better than Lloyd Hunnigan. It's better than what any of Brits have done. Calzaghe beating Roy Jones and Hopkins and Frock's going over there and doing.
Would you say it's better than what Calzaghe beating Roy Jones? Would you?
Of course I would, yeah, because Roy Jones had been knocked about anyway when Calzaghe got him. He was 40 years old.
Yeah, true.
So by the time Calzaghe got his hands on him. So no, I don't class that as like a Donald Curry win for Lloyd Hunnigan. No, but if this kid Anthony Yard can beat him, and don't forget it could be a close fight if it goes to points in England. If Yard pulls this off, he's got to be pound for pound. Got to be this guy here. He's some people's number one pound for pound. He's in my top 5. And he's in
when you say pound for pound,
what about he's best light heavyweight out there for starters, right? So he's the best light heavy. Right, he's undefeated, and everybody he's fought, he's put him on planet orbit. Everybody he's fought, he's knocked him out.
Is he better than Bivol though?
Well, it'd be a good fight, wouldn't it? With 2 good contrasting styles, but this guy gets to him, doesn't he? He gets to you. He gets to him and he breaks him down, doesn't he? He's like a machine. I've never seen. Yeah, well, I have to enjoy him while he's here because he's 38 now. I have to enjoy this guy. He doesn't send out. He reminds me of that film with Warrior, it's called, with Tom Hardy. Very similar to him. This guy doesn't show anything, doesn't play his hand or anything, but he's knocking guys out, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be interesting to see because Anthony Yard, I think he's big for a light heavy. For me, you could pass him off. I mean, I wonder what he is on fight night. To be fair, because he must boil himself down a little bit. Because I think he's quite big for a light heavy personally. He's got a big frame. So, and it was then when Lyndon Arthur beat him in that first fight, you question it a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see how much Tundi has developed him since that loss. Has that loss made him better? You know what I'm saying? This is what we're waiting to find out, really. So
a big shout out to Matt 7A or something from Donny. How you doing, Matt? Hope you're well. I'll come see you soon. Yeah, Max. This pound for pound. Who's your top pound for pound fighter in the world across the board?
Right. So you're gonna have to say you're gonna go to the standard Spence Crawford first. You're gonna have to go Usyk. Beterbiev. So there's your 4. And if you're looking for the 5th one, there's arguments really because you could even say Canelo, but Canelo for me, he's a cheating. Well, sorry for French bastard. So
yeah.
So there's the 5.
No, take anybody with any drug issues or any bans are out. Take them out of your top 5. Who's your top 5? It's not a trick question, that, Max.
Well, no, I'm just thinking because you put me on the spot now because that's my top 5. But I'll stick with that because we can criticize Canelo for drug use. We can criticize him all we can, but he is one hell of a fighter still.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can take all the drugs in a row, but you still got to get in there. You still got to get, and don't forget the different weights he's gone up and down in. You can't really criticize the guy. He's gone up to what 2-3 different weight classes. He's even won at light heavy. Then he fought Bivol and he got found out against the top of the game at light heavy because he was simply too big. It's nothing to do with his skill, is it? The physicalities, when you can't compete physically, you're no good, is it? And we're going to find that against Usyk and Fury, the physicalities, because they are that's what 5 stone between them, if you look at it, reality.
Yeah, they're in. Usyk will come in at 16. Fury will come in 19 and a half. There'll be 3.5 stone and about 5 inch in height. That's what it'll be. Fury's not 6'9". That's a myth. He's not 6'9". So, but he's just a touch under that. But I think he's about 6'8". But no, listen, mate. If Fury and Usyk happens, Fury's favourite in size and that. But don't be surprised if Usyk wins. Do you know what I mean? Don't be surprised. But getting back to Beterbiev, I just think he runs over Yard as much as I want Yard to do it. Because imagine if they could pull that off, it'd be like, that'd be massive, wouldn't it? That'd be like, oh.
Would there be a rematch clause in that for Beterbiev?
I don't know, but if they pull that off, if Anthony Yard pulls that off, same as if Paul Butler would be, I know you, right? They're like your pound for pound greats, undefeated KO men. You beat them, you live forever. Paul Butler, if he'd have beat I know you, would have been a superstar. And Yard, if he wins on Saturday, Yard will be a superstar. Let me tell you now. His life will change like you could never imagine if he wins. That's his golden ticket, and he's one punch away, isn't
he? It's look. I mean, look. It's not. Strange things have happened, and it's obviously the hard work he's putting behind the scenes, and we will see the measure of Tinder. I'll be watching really carefully because I like to know and see the dialogue, what the coaches say in the corner. So I like to see what Tunde does. I like to see if it's going wrong for Yard, what Tunde does with him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you get a measure of how good a trainer is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know, mate. I know, pal. I know. Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. What do you reckon happens if they fight again?
You see, right. I think it'll be a lot closer because now Savannah's experienced it, and that sort of intensity. I think it'll be closer. Maybe Clarissa Shields might pip it, but the thing is, now Savannah, and the good thing about Savannah, she's got that IQ to adapt in fights. She can do it. And being obviously from Peter will know now what to do because they're the sort of people that learn from their, they didn't make a mistake or nothing, but they learn what needs to be done to break down an opponent. And Peter is the biggest and probably one of the best at doing that. So expect a closer, razor sharp rounds,
Yeah. What do you think to Terry Harper Jonas situation, Max? It's all gone quiet, hasn't it?
Well, I think Steffi knows deep down Jonas will beat her.
Yeah, but I think that they want the payday with Jonas.
Well, I mean, there's two sides to you look at this. Does Terry Harper? I mean, I don't know if the ranking rematch will be out there, so get another win under a belt again, or try to, or whatever. But I think, I mean, isn't it too early to look out a cash job for Terry? Is that where we are with that? He's looking to do.
Terry's only young. She'll be fighting until she's 38. Steffi will be pimping her till then.
It's a strange one, Steffi, isn't it? Because he does know what he's doing, but you never know what agenda he's got. Because Terry, I mean, she's come from nothing, isn't she? And where she's got, I mean, fantastic. Hats off to her. But
done well for her, Steffi Bull. He's done well for her.
Yeah, and you got to give credit where credit's due. You know, the amount of grief we give him, but Terry, you know, I'd wait for the Jones fight because I think that'll always be there. You know, Russ. So I'd wait.
What do you think to Perry Howe fighting for Central Area in a 2-fight deal?
I think Perry will get ironed out against Ricky Reeves. Ricky Reeves is from good stock. You got to bear in mind he's come runners up in that boxer series, like that equivalent of the prize fighter. So he's been in life and death situations. Got a lot more experience than Perry. I hope Perry. See, this is the thing. He's obviously gone the wrong way, isn't he? With Dennis could have probably got this on their own show. Now it's going to be on their show. Any razor sharp rounds is going to go to Ricky Reeves. So he's fucked himself in the foot, isn't he, old Perry?
Well, if Perry loses, I don't have to jump in Don.
I think he gets knocked out. Because if Nathan Jones Jr., whatever his name is, can knock him out and he's a journeyman, what's Ricky Reeves going to do to him? Yeah, let's be honest. He hasn't had any hard fights of recent, has he, Perry? So what I call life and death fights where he has to crawl himself off the canvas, Ricky Reeves has. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, look, it's Dennis's fighter. Good luck to him, and I hope he. But my personal opinion, I think Ricky Reeves will I'm out inside probably 4 rounds.
Well, if you don't, Max, are you going to jump in Don for me?
Well, that's not part of the deal, is it? That was it.
Your weapon.
What was I involved in that jumping the Don? I didn't say about Perry. You put me on the spot like that, bastard.
Right, Max, I'm off. Listen, you take care. Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah,
try and stay out of trouble, yeah?
All right, mate. See you, pal.
See you a bit, mate. Bye.
Well, that were Max, a.k.a. Out of a Breadcrumb. He's on comeback trailer. What is Max? 1-1? He's already on comeback. Let's hope Max is right, because I don't fancy jumping in River Dawn. That could come to bite me in arse or a water rat could. Yeah, don't fancy that. Okie dokie, well, I hope you enjoyed Max's return. Okie dokie. Peace out. Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.